expert with us today. I'm going to be introducing her. Our expert is already here. I've worked with this woman for so many years. She's one of our women. She's one of our cooperative members. And we've been doing a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of impactful training, a lot of skill acquisition for women in the area of spices, in the area of you can start a cottage business and you can have your little farm, your own garden farm on spices in your backyard and all those kind of opportunities. So I'm going to introduce Mrs. Bridget Onome Bello. She is our expert for today, and she will be talking on spice production. Very interestingly, you're going to be looking at how to farm spices, marketing, packaging, and quality control in spices, branding, and as much as she can talk based on the time limit that we have to be online today in this live stream. And if time gives us the permission, we'll be taking questions. So as she goes, as she comes on, you can begin to send us in the chat box your questions. It's going to be very interactive. And as we go on in this program that Misedi is bringing to Africa, to Nigeria, at some point we will be having live interactive sessions where we would allow people to talk to us live online and we'll be able to relate with you as an entrepreneur or as a farmer or as a processor. Um, about Mrs. Bridget Onomobelo, she is an experienced agriculturist and agribusiness professional with a background in microbiology, organic farming, and sustainable agriculture. She is dedicated to promoting organic farming practices, community empowerment, and processing certificates in various agricultural specialties. Um, she is um, she is a microbiologist from the University of Benin. Um, she also has different certifications in commercial production of spices. She's done also organic agricultural principles and regulations. She has done this training in various different institutions. She's also has certification in natural ingredients for health products. So Mrs. Onome is one of our Might Steady experts. She's one of our team, and she will be bringing this training to you today. So sit tight and ready to be upskilled in the area of agro processing, specifically in spices. Bridget, you're welcome. I fondly call her Bridget. You're welcome, Bridget. Hi, hi. I can see turmeric, health reasons. garlic. I can say garlic. We have Mrs. Bridget Onome talking to us today on spice production. And she started with an intro on spices, and she's talking about some of the common spices we use in Africa and some of the common spices we use in Nigeria. And she's already talking about the properties of the spices and the health benefits, and from which she would then delve into farming of the spices. And the end objective of today is for us to know how to process the spices, either for commercial purpose or for even home use. The essence of this training is to promote food security, agriculture, food security, and also job creation in the area of agriculture. How do we make you understand the potentials in agriculture, the investment opportunity in agriculture, and, and how we can also farm in agriculture? While we wait for Mrs. Onome to come on board and continue with her segment, I want you to know that some of the areas that we'll be talking about in for next week, just to whet your appetite so you don't miss the live stream training next week. Next week, we will be talking about um, the investment opportunity in agriculture and some of the agricultural crops that you can go into. We will be looking at a particular cash crop that has comparative advantage in Nigeria. And at some point, we'll be looking at other African countries, but we're using Nigeria as our case study for this period. We will be looking at a cash crop that has comparative advantage in Nigeria and how and a powerful economic value also. This cash crop will be bringing on to next week, and we will be telling you how to go into farm production of this cash crop. And also, we'll be looking at an annual crop that also has very good economic value, also that would support food security in Nigeria. So next week, we'll be looking at practical farming. This week, we are looking at processing some of our vegetables, some of our spices. We have today our expert, Mrs. Onome Bridget. We have Mrs. Onome Bridget, our expert today, that is already taking us on spice production. I think her network has just gone off. So her network has just gone off, and this is one of the factors we have in Nigeria, but we will sure overcome it. I'm sure she's going to come back on board as soon as possible to continue with the session, the live stream session. So, so if you have a comment you want to make on the chat box, please send in your comments. If you want to ask about Misedi, you want to ask about the cooperative, or if there are areas of interest you want us to do in this course of our training for 2025, can you please drop a message for us on the chat box? I want to hear from you now. This is our interactive session. Please drop your comments on the chat box. Let me check if I have anyone that has sent in a message. Can you please send in your message on the chat box? Send in your message on the chat box. Any questions, any comments? I'm waiting to see on the chat box. Do we have any question on the chat box? I would like to know some of our participants who are online today. I would like to know some of our participants who are online today. Can you introduce yourself? So I will take your intro. Great. I have Mrs. Busaya Sajimi online. She is an auditor and accountant. I have her online. So somebody said from Mary Ann, are we going to be focusing on just one cash crop for next time? Okay, so Mary Ann just asked the question as regards this the training that will be coming on board. She said, are we going to be focusing on just one cash crop next time? So what we'll be doing, because of the limited time, we would have to be online on the live stream because we want it to be real time, we want it to be as interactive as possible. We'll have some cash crop. We have some cash crop that we'll be looking at, but for next week, we will be looking at one cash crop. We'll take the cash crop and look at all the value chain across the cash crop. We'll look at all the business opportunity on the cash crop. Then when we bring that same expert in another of the schedule, we'll be looking at another cash crop that has comparative advantage in Nigeria. Right now, we know I have viewers from Nigeria, I have viewers from Ghana, I have Oyinlola Omoniyi online. Thank you, Oyinlola, for joining us. I have Mary Ann online who asked the question. So another person said, tell me more about the cooperative, please. Okay, so Misedi Cooperative It's a cooperative that is established to provide practical support, to create a network of support, number one, a large network of support of entrepreneurs. The cooperative is focused on business, people in business, SMEs. And this cooperative try to bring women together and youth together, how to strengthen their entrepreneurship capacity. The cooperative is focused on agriculture. The cooperative works with farmers. How do we bring capacity building to farmers? How do we bring financial access to farmers? And more importantly, access to market to farmers. We want to ensure that farmers get better pricing for their produce, and also farmer access market easily. Also, a lot of capacity building the cooperative is going to bring in about to farmers. The cooperative is also focused on entrepreneur, whatever business you are doing. Um, Entrepreneurship is our thematic area. Whatever business you are doing, we want to provide access to finance for people in business, access to markets for people in business. Um, we are providing also, we're building a support system where capacities of entrepreneurs can be built, SMEs capacities can be built. Also, we are looking at doing a lot of joint program, a lot of joint scheme that would impact on the area of the economic standards of our members in terms of their financial standards, how to improve the living standard of our members through viable businesses in agriculture and in other area. The cooperative is currently working on having a housing scheme through mortgage for women. Women are to own their houses. We want to work together to have our estate where a woman will have a piece of her house in the estate, and also want to support women that have their own lands and they don't have the finance to build. And we want to come together as a group in clusters to be able to access finance for housing. Also, we want to support women that you don't have a land, you still want to have your own house. We would work with developers to get women to be able to access those houses. Those are some of the things that the cooperative will be doing. Also, currently, the cooperative have started our food sharing to be able to access food in through bulk purchase to get it at cheaper prices. The cooperative is also working on that. We're doing that right now. So we have our food target savings. We also have target savings where we help our members to achieve any target they want to achieve out there. It can be targets for saving money to raise capital for your business, because one of the things that I talk about, one of the campaigns advocacy I do is avoid loans for business. It is better to raise capitals through your savings, because loan come at a cost. It come at a cost, and it makes your production costs to be higher than you doing cost-free capital, right? So we encourage a lot of saving culture. Whatever amount you can save, as little as 1,000 naira, over a period of time, it will be a capital that you can use to expand your business. So we have that saving also, that saving culture. Also, the cooperative also encourages target savings for whereby you save towards achieving setting goals as family or as individual. For example, house rent, school fees, buildings, facility projects, different kind of projects, even projects for your home upkeep, project you want to save to put food on the table in your home, and all those kind of life needs, those necessities. The cooperatives encourage a lot of strong saving culture. So that is some of the things the Misedi cooperative has in store. So I'm going to see who also is online with us. I have online with us, I have Mrs. Busayo, and I'm trying to see, I have Samuel online. I have someone online. I'm trying to see who else is online with us. If you're online with us, can you say hello, do an introduction, ask a question? This is our interactive session. To ask a question about, you can also ask question on what you want, what you would expect, or what you would like to see happen on this training program. I'm trying to take the questions online. So I have, okay, we're trying to bring in our facilitator. We're trying to bring in our facilitator. We're trying to bring in our facilitator. She's trying to come back in. She will be in a minute. I'm trying to check who is online with us. Okay, so you are live with Misedi Multipurpose Cooperative. We are also live with Misedi Empowerment Initiative for Africa. We are live on this training on spice production, where we have our expert, Mrs. Onome Bridget. We have our expert, Mrs. Onome Bridget, who is trying to come in live. Her network just went off, but she's trying to come in live. Mrs. Onome Bridget is our expert today. She is a farmer. She is a processor. Her area of expertise is spices. Her area of expertise is spices. Are there any comments? Are there any other comments online? Can you read the comments online? So we have another question that says, okay, we have a question that says, all right, somebody's asking about the housing scheme. Yes, like I said, the housing scheme is, we want to work together in clusters to be able to assess opportunities that the government has provided through the mortgage system in Nigeria. Sometimes some of the challenges we have on this mortgage system is how do you, a lot of persons don't even know the documentation to put in place. They don't know how to assess the scheme. A lot of persons are active contributors, but they don't know how to assess it. So as a cooperative member, we'll be bringing all this kind of support and opportunity for you to assess the housing scheme through the mortgage system in Nigeria. I'm glad to let you know that our experts has come in back. This is Onome Bridget. So Bridget, please, you can continue with your session. Thank you. I think you can start from there. You actually talked about, you mentioned some spices in Nigeria, and then you talked about their health benefit. That was the last we heard. So you can continue from there.
in the next 3 to 5 years for that land, those farmlands to recover, right? So you now see the reason why organic cultivation is just the best, or natural cultivation is just the best. And what are the things that are being used in natural cultivation? Strictly um, your animal dungs, your your food wastage, you decompose them and pour it back into your farm. And then even sometimes, well, all these crops that we harvest and then we are trying to throw away the leaves or all that, we can bury it back into the soil. It will decay, and before you know it, it's going to decompose and become a fertile ground. Okay, and what are we talking about? Just a simple practice of you burying your leaves, your waste food in the ground, and when they decompose, before you know it, it's become an organic land. Okay, and if time might not permit me, I would have shown you samples of um, grounds that we decompose into quality loamy soil, clay soil that will convert to loamy soils. Okay, and it's very, very visible. You can do it right at the comfort of your home, even when you don't have if your environment is clay, you can convert it to a loamy, healthy, fertile soil that you can plant anything. Take my word for it, you can plant anything. Yes. Okay. So then another thing during farming practice, we consider water. Implementing efficient water irrigation system is you're good to go. Even but ensuring that you minimize water loss. Okay. Then another thing is environmental impact. So by being carefully considering these factors, we can cultivate a healthy, high-yielding spice crops while minimizing environmental footprint. Okay, so let's go to processing and quality preservation. When we talk about quality preservation, processing, from the field to the finish point. As an expert in this area, I can guide you through the essential steps. So one of the first thing you do in is the harvesting. There are times for everything. The Bible makes us understand there is time to sow, there is time to plant, there's time to harvest. Okay, so this applies to also spice industry. There's time for every spice to be harvested. There's time. Okay, so harvesting at the optimum maturity is critical for minimizing yield and flavor. When it's not yet, you cannot harvest when it's overdue or underripe for spices. No, you can't do that. Okay. And we have techniques for harvesting. Proper harvesting methods are critical. Okay. To prevent damage to the spice and maintaining the spice integrity. Okay. So one of the ways we do that is majorly by hand picking, cutting, or dripping, depending on the specific spice, though. Okay. So like ginger and turmeric, we dig, even garlic we dig, okay? But like chili, peppercorn, that's black pepper, we pluck, okay? We unpick them. And then like um, basil, we cut, okay? So those are the ways. Then another thing we need to consider is cleaning and sorting. So removing impurities after harvesting is very, very important because you wouldn't want your products to be contaminated. For instance, you wouldn't want your, when you harvest maybe like ginger, definitely there will be soil attached to the ginger, okay, even the garlic, okay. Then when we talk about the pepper and the like, sometimes dust on the body of the crops that you unpick, the leaves you cut, dust, debris can be on it. Sometimes pets can be on it, so you will have to step by step food safety guide to clean those products. Okay, and then sorting it and then grinding. So after sorting, the next thing you break them. Okay, grade them based on spices, colors, quality, and all that. And then when you want to produce, um, the next thing is you go into drying. So, and we have two major drying methods, basically traditional method and modern method. When we talk about traditional method, we are talking about sun drying, okay? It's a common method everywhere, sun dry. So we use the weather to dry it and ensure that, but we also have a technique. If you want to sun dry, we have a technique of doing that. So when we come to that, we'll discuss about that. Then when we talk of modern drying, it's basically a mechanical drying method, okay, such as drying in the tunnel, dehydrator, and all that. And then the humidity and the temperature is controlled, okay? So the importance of drying properly is cannot be overemphasized. Yes, cannot be overemphasized in the sense that because we are looking from the flavor to the aroma to the shelf life. Okay, so if you reduce the moisture content, it inhibits the growth of bacteria and it prevents spoilage. But if you don't dry properly, guess what? Moisture content will be high, and then microbial growth, aspergillus, and all that can grow. And then before you know it, your product is already spoiled and you can't use it. And by the time you even use it, your customer might come down complaining of one um, discomfort or the other that they experience through your product. Okay, so quality control also cannot be overemphasized. Adhering to food safety standard is also important. Okay, so throughout the entire process chain, it is critical to adhere to strict food standards to prevent contamination. Okay, to ensure that the food is safe, because there are some people that are allergic to so many things. Okay, you can use it will just wow you that some people are allergic to dust. Like me, I'm allergic to dust. Okay, and if I dare take anything that has dust, I'm in trouble. Okay, so implementing proper sanitation procedure is it's critical, important, cannot be overemphasized. Okay, so let's have that in mind. Then consistent quality. Maintaining your quality is paramount. Okay, and then following your SOP will prevent all these, and it will address the issue of maybe one lapses or the other. SOP is very important. So, and then by following all these steps that we've spoken about, prioritizing them, the quality control, you can ensure that your product retain a flavorful aroma, nutritional value to your products. Okay, so while meeting the highest standard of food safety and safety, right, your consumer will be satisfied with your products. So hope we are all getting along. Hope I'm not confusing anybody.
It's very clear.
Okay, good. So now let's talk about packaging and marketing, right? You do not produce a product for you to have it in your kitchen, isn't it? Your purpose of going into this business, apart from, okay, some of us might be for just home use only, but for those of us that want to go into providing value to the economy, not just providing good product, but at the same time elevating one of our core or anchor on Misedi is elevating poverty, right? And one of the way we elevate poverty is either through employment, through what we are producing. And while we are doing our production, guess what? We have a lot of people that we will bring out of poverty, like from farmers to producers that are going to be working with you, your production manager, your staffs, all that. All is encompassed, right? So for you to be able to reach out to the market, you need to package your products properly and also market it. So now, as an expert in this thing, we're going to be guiding you through a key consideration such as packaging strategy. Your packaging must be attractive and functional packaging. So when we're now talking about packaging, one of the things we look at is protection, and it is a key when it comes to packaging. You are protecting your products. Okay, so packaging must protect the spice from moisture, light, air, which can degrade the flavor and the aroma. So, to ensure that we are maintaining the freshness of our product, we consider the use of airtight containers or vacuum sealing, okay, to ensure that we help reduce moisture absorbance into the freshness of your product that you just package. So, and then it must be appealing to your consumers. Yes, it must be appealing to your consumers. And to have your product visible, the packaging should be visibly appealing. Yes, reflecting the quality and the uniqueness of your spice. Think about it. Using vibrant color, eye-catchy design, okay, are part of the things that you will invest in. And then branding and labeling. Strong brand identity, man, it's a top. It's a top. Okay. Momo, help me with one of my products. So developing a unique brand name and logo that resonates with your target audience is important. Okay. So clear product information cannot be overemphasized. You must make sure that you include the necessary information in your labeling, in the name of the spice, the range, okay, the weight, dates of best before or when it's produced and when it's going to be expired. Okay, all those things are necessary. For instance, how do you see this? Is it appealing enough? Is it attractive enough? Can I see your comments? So what are they saying, Mrs. Efosa? Because I can't see the
Yes, it
comments.
is. Yes, it is.
Okay, so if you see, so if you make sure that your product is well packaged, because this is a yaji and then well packaged and everything, you can see. So if it's not well packaged, it cannot be easily picked on the shelf. Somebody that knows about your product that goes to a shelf, it will just pick it once and for all. It's like Dangote product. You can't find it difficult to pick because you already know the brand, you know the name, you know the color.
All right, glad we are on Spice Production 101 with Mrs. Onome Bridget Bello. She's talked about the different spices business that you can go into in Nigeria. You can go into ginger spice production, which is processing of our spices. She talked about ginger, the health value. She talked about garlic. She just was showing us one of our products, which is the yaji, the pepper. It's a special kind of spicy pepper from the northern part of Nigeria. Is used for grilled meat and what we call suya in Nigeria. She talked about that spice. She talked about um, quality control, and she delved a bit into the farming of those um, crops using the right kind of fertilizers to make it close to what we have as what we call organic. She talked about all that in her session. For the next session that we're going to have with Mrs. Onome Bridget, which we will let you know when she will be coming up again, because we're going to be bringing different experts so we can be touching different areas and your capacity can be built in different areas of agriculture. And we would go not only in agriculture, we'll go to other area of businesses. And at some point, we will have a life clinic, a life business clinic for entrepreneurs. Here we can diagnose what is going on with your business and we can give life solution. We'll come up with experts that will do that. So this is our training, capacity building training plan for 2025 to bring sustainable, innovative job creation through entrepreneurship and looking at one very priority sector in Nigeria, which is the agricultural sector. So today we are on Spice 101 with Mrs. Bridget Onome. At some point, Mrs. Bridget is going to be doing practical spice production training. She will be doing practical spice production training on this platform. So I'm going to open up now for comments. I'm going to open up now for comments. So if you have any question, you can ask your question now. Okay, we have our expert back, Mrs. Bridget Onome Bello. She's going to continue from
Sorry.
she's going to continue from where she stopped. So, Mrs. Bridget, I was just telling our participants for today, our live audience, that at some point on this program, we will be having you do a practical spice production session where you will come with your gadgets and you will show people how to do at least one spice, how to process one spice. So you need to keep up with us. We will be doing this every week. We will be live every Sunday, 7 p.m. West African time, 7 p.m. West African time. We'll be having our live session and we'll be bringing on board different experts in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I have one of my experts in the US. She is a professor. I can't wait to bring her on board on different opportunities. So Mrs. Bridget Onome is going to be doing practical training and at some time in the course of the year on spice production. This course is just the intro, it's just the basic, it's the 101. So continue, madam.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are also talking about the value chain. I hope we all get the marketing aspects.
Yes, you showed us your one of your packaged products, that's the Yaji product, and you were talking about the importance of having your produce, your commodity well package that will cause attraction. You give example of the Dangote brand and how the brand is very visible, is very distinguished in the market. Yes, except you want to give us more insight into practical ways or what are some packaging materials that we can use. If you want to talk on that before you go into the next aspect of the training, that'll be fine.
Okay, so when we talk about packaging, it ranges from bottles to PET bottles to plastics to pouches. Okay, so and one of the best to me, one of the best way of packaging is pouches, because number one, you are not scared of running out of containers, running out of bottles, so it's one of the best for me. Thank you. So, and let's talk about value addition beyond the basics, and beyond implementing these packaging and marketing strategies. You can effectively reach out to your target audience by building a strong brand presence, successfully market your spice to both local and international, right? So, what other thing that will help the spice to go viral is just beyond the basics. For instance, you're adding value to your product. So, as an expert, I can guide you on how to innovative way to increase the value of your spices. For instance, creating a unique flavor profile. Like my yaji it's different from other yaji. right, is different from other pepper sauce, right? So one of the ways that you can make your products unique and stand out is by putting these profile flavors together. Ensure that okay, it has a like for instance, some people don't like me. I don't really like MSG, so I prefer natural taste. So one thing I do is I ensure that okay, I don't use MSG in my product, and then what I do, I use natural umami taste products, spices or herbs to enhance the taste of my products. Okay, and it should be convenient for consumers. Okay, pre-made blends offer conveniences for home cook, saving them from time and effort in bringing out all these spices to put them together to cook. But you can just put them together, and then, for instance, curry powder. A lot of people cannot get a quality curry in the market. Like when I did a survey one time, I discovered that majority of the curry sold in the market, if you are not opportune to get the you can't pay for a high quality curry. When you are going to get the substandard, it's mostly made of turmeric and then maybe one or two spices just to allow it to have aroma. And then you don't have good quality curry in the market because majority of them are trying to meet up to the standard of the market. So they would rather just use only curry and then with one or two spices to make it have flavor or make it have an aroma, but you're not really having that gram masala curry. So in one of our courses, we can teach in one of my courses, I can teach you how to create a very good quality standard premium curry that anybody that uses it will always come back to you. Will always come back to you, and it beats most of the blends in the market, right? So those are one of the things you have to add to your product. If you don't have value to it, nobody will come back to you. So you need to add value. Okay. So and then um, one other thing you need to also note when trying to reach out is how do I put it? Um, Spice infusion products. Okay, aside having spice as spices or plain spices or curry, you also have value addition. You can develop a value line product on spices. It ranges from spice oil, paste, powder, tea, name it. You can go on and on. You can mention on and on. Okay, so we have range. Even spice. I don't know if some of you have noticed the ginger biscuits. Okay, we have ginger biscuit. Now we have there's one I saw recently, cinnamon bread, right? Those are one of the ways you can incorporate spices in various brands of food. Okay, so another thing is you need to enhance the flavor and the shelf life of your product. So technically, like picking, smoking, fermenting are one of the things that you can use to improve or extend the shelf life of spices. So, and then unique and premium products. Like my products are premium products. Okay, they are premium products, and you can't. Mrs. Efisa can testify to that. That our product is one of the best, right? So by applying some of these additional value techniques, makes you stand out from every other product spice in the market out there. So with this little point of mine, hope I've not confused you, but rather make it easy for you to understand what it takes to come into the spice business. So I don't know if any of us have questions to ask. I would like to treat it in the next few minutes before our time rounds up. Questions. If you got value, please type value. Let me see your value. Our moderator today, Mrs. Efosa, can we see? Yeah, baby. I'm in class. I'm coming. I'll see you on the. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was on mute actually. So I have some comments
Okay. Oh, okay.
online. So I'm trying to take the comments online. So okay. I'm trying to take some of the comments online. So do you sell in bulk quantity?
Okay.
Somebody asking, do you
Yes.
sell in
Okay.
bulk
Yes. We
quantities?
do branding.
Yes.
Yes.
Even
We
as a
sell in bulk quantities. We hello.
yes, we are with you. We are with
Okay,
you.
yes, we do bulk quantity. For instance, for those that want to just buy our product and brand it on their own, we do white, which is called white label. We do that also, yes.
Okay, even as a cooperative also, what we're also doing is trying to get women to produce in clusters, and we're trying to get women to farm in clusters, and we're also trying to get women to produce in clusters. So yes, there is a lot of support for being a member of the cooperative. Somebody say thank you, Adepback Farms, thank you. Um, so somebody says nice. One of the comments says several ranges nice. Um, we have um, Isaiah's fashion online. We have quite a good number of women online today that joined us for this first session. Oh, we have the president of the Nigerian Women in Agricultural Business Cooperative. That is my cooperative. Also, in the person of Lady Grace Titi Fredson, she
You're
joined us
welcome, ma'am.
also. We're glad to have Lady Grace
Ah,
Titi
good to have
Fredson
you, ma'am.
online. She is the president of the one of the only women in agricultural business cooperative in Nigeria. We're glad to have her online.
Wow.
Yes, so I am the National Technical Advisor for Nigerian Women in Agricultural Cooperative. We're glad to have her online today. So today is just the intro of our spice production class. We will be doing, we will be having more practical sessions. Just today is just to introduce this program, and today also is to let you know some of the things that we will be doing, introduce one of our experts. Next week, we'll be bringing another expert. So the areas we'll be focusing in agriculture is agro-processing, primary production, areas for investment, opportunities in agriculture. We'll also bring in an expert on standardization and compliance in agriculture. So we'll take in the first month, we'll be introducing our different experts into the different areas they will be going. Then we'll now start going deep into the different courses. So I want to thank everyone that joined us online today. Thank you all that joined us online today in the live stream session. And one of these days, we'll bring everybody to be live, and everybody will be on video, and we'll be able to talk to each other. All of us talking to each other and having a live interaction. We're working on that. We're just taking it one step at a time. This is our first time of coming live. So we're taking it one step at a time. But we have a lot in plan for this program coming from Misedi Empowerment Initiative for Africa and Misedi Initiative cooperative society. Thank you again, Mrs. Onome Bello. I
It's
call her
my
Bridget.
pleasure.
She
My
is the CEO of
pleasure.
Denmark Farms. We've been working together for years. She's one of my women. She's one of my partners, and she's one of my support system. And I'm also her support system. Thank you, Bridget. So have a great night, everyone. And
Okay.
next week, Sunday, we will be live
Bye.
7 p.m. West African time. Join us for primary production. Farming in one cash crop and one annual crop rather. Next week, we are looking at primary production of agriculture, a very interesting area. Thank you, everyone. Bye and have a great evening. Thank you, Bridget. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. The live session has ended, right? So we can go now. Okay. Wala ko pa eh. To click the end call, right? Sam? Hello, Samuel. Okay.